Beautifully. On brand.
From crafting performance driven campaigns in a fast moving digital environments to shaping the social voice for one of the most exciting brands in hosting, today's guest brings creativity, data, and storytelling together in a way that truly stands out. I'm Gautam Khorana, host of Beautifully on Brand and co founder of Brandy and Seahawk Media. And today's episode is especially a fun one because hosting.com is not only one of the most forward thinking brands in the hosting space, but also our presenting sponsor for WP Legends, my other podcast. I've loved watching the team expand and evolve, and Laura is one of the people helping bring that brand to life beautifully across social and digital. Laura Christoffers is the digital and social media marketing manager at hosting.com, leading the social presence, paid social, and creative strategy behind the brand. Before joining hosting.com, she built her experience across IONOS, TikTok focused campaigns, paid media, content creation, and a lot more. In today's episode, we'll explore how Laura approaches brand storytelling in a technical industry, how hosting.com is shaping its visual identity across channels, and what it takes to create content that resonates in a world where attention is the most valuable currency. Laura, welcome to Beautifully on Brand. Nice to have you here today.
Hi, thanks for having me.
It's so good to see you today. And tell me something. Let's go back to the history of how you got into the world of hosting. I would love to hear that story.
I came into the digital marketing bubble like a few years back. That actually started way before I joined the web hosting bubble
Hmm.
because I was really into entertainment and TV and social media. So I started an internship in that field with one of the biggest media companies in Europe.
Hmm.
Then it was an internship, so it ended. I moved back to my university town, and then new positions opened up. I was reaching out to some working student positions that I was really curious about, and that's how I really ended up in the web hosting space because I saw the IONOS was searching for a new working student, especially in the marketing field, and I really wanted to still work with creativity and with my ideas. So that was the perfect fit. I reached out. I was able to have a talk with Martine, who was my boss back then. And yeah, it all worked out. We got along really well, and she kept me after I finished my studies. And
Hmm.
I stayed in the web hosting space ever since.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Ionis is a very well respected brand, also, especially in Europe, and they own a lot of other companies, also Fastos in the UK sector. So you got a very good stepping stone when it comes to the hosting world. But tell me something. When you were working with Ionos at that time, what were you doing with the company? Were you just working on like social media account, or I believe TikTok campaigns? What were you exactly working on at Ionos?
Yeah, so to be honest, like a lot of fields.
Okay.
I started with helping with our TikTok channel back in my working student times, but later on, like when I stayed full time, I was moving on to media planning. So
Mm,
I was really supporting the brand campaigns and like how to position ourselves and where to position ourselves, seeking out new opportunities for placements, and that was a whole field. I've built it, and of course with like lots of help and a good guidance, but that's something I was really proud of. And yeah, then times changed. I mean, I was happy there and things were good, but yeah, new positions or new opportunities opened up for me, and now I'm really glad I joined hosting.com, and I'm the digital and social media manager there now, as you mentioned, and I'm
yes.
really happy with that.
Yeah, and what time did you join hosting.com? Was it like around the rebrand, before the rebrand? Because A2 was acquired and then A2 became hosting.com. So when did you join hosting.com?
Yes, so actually a quite funny time where I joined, or a more crazy time, because I actually joined one day after the rebrand happened.
Oh, wow.
So everything was crazy, like fast pacing, a lot of changes,
Hmm.
and obviously, like it took a lot of work for the others to build a whole new rebrand of
Hmm.
like an existing brand. And I was just stunned of the amount of work that was put into this rebrand, into like creating a new face for A2 hosting. And yeah, I was really stunned by all of that hard work and all of those amazing people who
Yeah.
put their best into this.
Got it. And how were you given all those brand identity documents, Figma files, logos, etc.? How were you handed over? Google Dropbox, Google Drive, just folders internally.
Yes. So I had the luck, I need to say that,
Hmm.
that my team was already in a very good position, I would say.
Hmm.
Um, because obviously, like, such a major handover doesn't happen overnight, and like passwords get lost, or you never know, like, what
Yes.
happens. But
Yes.
yeah, luckily we all had the all the passwords and accesses, or most of them, together. So I had a pretty good onboarding. I obviously needed to, like, update some stuff, but most of the updates and the rebrand already happened with the social media
Because you joined one day.
accounts.
Because you joined one day after. Luckily, unluckily,
Exactly.
luckily, whatever. Right?
Exactly. But yeah, I was lucky enough that all of that happened before I joined,
Hmm.
because I then had the luck that I could just take over the accounts and start from there and start building the strategy and like get some insights of what have been posted in the past.
Hmm.
And that was my luck, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, it was still not as easy as it sounds. It was still a hurdle to get like everything together, to update everything, and to have everything in a proper position. But yeah, I think it could have been worse.
I know, I can imagine. Going into Instagram account, updating the bio picture, the bio, the this, going into LinkedIn, updating the banner, YouTube banners. You had, I can't even imagine and imagine. Okay. I did see a webinar hosted
Well,
by your head of content, Daphne, about the SEO part. What did you do about the brand part though? Like when you joined the first week, describe your first week at hosting.com.
yes. So the first week was all about, like, obviously getting to know everyone. It
Hmm.
also, so like, I'm German. My native language is German as well.
Hmm.
So it also was a huge step for me to like talk very freely in English, because
Hmm.
even though I've spent a year abroad, it
Hmm.
was like I haven't talked fluent in a while, so that was a big obstacle for me. But in general, like, the first week was really like getting to know everyone, because that's like super important to just have good connections within the company, to know who you can talk to about what topics, from whom you get what. So yeah, that's actually like one of the most important steps I realized.
Hmm.
And yeah, with that said, the first week was pretty smooth, because all of the, like, they really focused on me getting to feel comfortable and getting
I see.
onboarded properly. So yeah, and obviously during that week, or during weeks, I've prepared like a whole presentation for the strategy, like where do we want to head to, like what kind of content would be proper to post, what audiences should we focus on, what platforms, and all of that. And obviously, like, I'm also doing paid social media,
Hmm.
so I also had to dig into the account setup, like, hey, do we have a business center right now, is any tracking set up, do we have the pixels? And yeah, so we had for some, we haven't had for other channels. So yeah, that's all, like, that happened during the first weeks, like,
Got
honestly,
it.
to get onboarded, have a proper setup, to just get a grip for like all of the platforms, what have been done in the past.
Got it. And what kind of tools do you use for scheduling, managing all these work? Do you use Canva, Adobe? What kind of tools are being used at hosting.com?
So the most important tool I'm using for social media is ClickUp right now, because it's a great project management tool.
Hmm.
I have a very detailed content plan in there,
Okay.
where I not only plan ahead content, but also like manage that, because of course, I need approvals for the captions. I need creatives to be created. I need to coordinate with an agency. So all of that is
Hmm.
happening via ClickUp.
ClickUp. Yeah, it's a
Um,
great tool. It's a great tool.
It
Yeah, yeah.
it really is. It's so helpful, and you can also have a calendar view where you can see like every post that's scheduled a day. So that makes my life really easy. And yeah, I think the other very important tool I'm using is Coda.
Okay.
We just recently started using that, so this really helps me to give everyone basically an overview about the strategy. So, what audiences are we talking to? Why? What are our content pillars? And all of that is collected in Coda. But also, like this tool gives an opportunity to have kind of like an intake form.
Hmm.
So, if anyone in the company has like an idea they really celebrate or really like, they can simply add this idea to the form and I will get notified. So that I'm not alone with all of the creative work. I also get inspiration from my colleagues.
I like that. I like to hear that. These are great. I know Coda really well as well. I've used it in the past, and I'm just wondering, like, to all of our audiences and beautifully on Ryan who are watching this episode, see how much work goes behind the scenes, and this is what this episode is all about. So, my burning question for you, Laura, is like, how much in advance are you planning the social media calendar? Is it 2 weeks, 6 weeks, 2 months? Let me ask you that question.
I see, you're curious.
Hmm.
So it's really hard to answer. I plan, or I try to plan as far ahead as I can.
Okay.
Because I can get sick, I'm on vacation, stuff like that happens.
Hmm.
But it's also like easier said than done, because depending on the ideas or the season, like sometimes I just have even more topics on my shoulders, that I just can't sit there every day and create like 5 ideas a day. That's just not possible. Um, so yeah, I try to plan ahead like at least 30 days, but right
Okay.
now it's more of like 2 weeks
Okay.
because it's just a lot of creative input
Hmm.
and it takes like coordination. I also need to watch out for the capacities of Carla, who's helping me creating
Okay.
content.
Okay.
I do get support from an agency right now, but we're still in the onboarding phase, so that
Okay.
takes like a lot of work as well. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's a lot of work to plan so far ahead, but yeah, I'm doing my best to give like a lot of time for everyone to review. At least I
No, I
try.
follow the stories. I follow the Instagram account. I see LinkedIn posts every now and then also, so I can see the effort being put in the back scene. And I noticed that because of November, Black Friday month, you changed the color to black. Whose idea was that, though?
Actually, mine.
Really, that was pretty cool. I've very rarely seen somebody doing that, but that was pretty cool because you maintain the brand identity, and you also, because the same logo is sector, and it's a very neutral shade of black. It's not very black. Also, I actually kind of noticed that, and then the Instagram stories, etc., are pretty raw and organic, which I think is your brand positioning. The strategy is behind that for hosting.com, I believe. So that's pretty cool that you did that, and I believe this is a very important month for the entire company. Is that correct?
It is, it is. I mean, I guess it's for every company, right? Like Black
Yeah.
Friday sales are huge. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of work, and a lot of people and their ideas. So I think it's not just for us. It's for everyone, also our
Yeah.
customers. Like we want them to feel valued and appreciated. And I think this is a way for us to give our customers something back and also like celebrating our hard work. Like we can be proud of seeing our work out there and the resonance that is coming from the customers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's cool. That's pretty cool. By the way, again, I don't know if I've said it in a video which I did on YouTube on my WP Legends podcast, but I do thank you and my team for interesting me for sponsoring my show. And I actually, and for all the viewers, if you go to WP Legends podcast, we'll post a link for that also. All the stories, there's nothing scripted here. There's nothing scripted in any episode, and every single guest can vouch for that. And you should check out my other episodes also, by the way, at WP Legends. And again, Laura, thank you for sponsoring me. I want to say that now in case I forget. I have said it publicly, that, and that was a surprise video. And you guys reminded me of my social media agency days. Seahawk Media, I don't know if I told you, started out as a social media agency also, and we websites just happened by chance, and now we are very well focused. And I still remember, as an agency to 50, 60, 70 other brands, people used to be angry at us all the time, and everybody wanted things done yesterday. So let me ask you this: how angry do you get at your agency partner? when things are not done on time.
How angry I am at my agency partner. I mean, they're there to help me, right?
Yeah.
Um, it involves a lot of people working
I
with
know.
different
It's
creative minds. So
yeah.
obviously, there
Yeah.
are obstacles we need to
Yes.
overcome.
I know. I've seen it
But
firsthand.
in
I've
the end,
seen.
exactly. So, but in the end, we're all humans. We're all doing our
Yeah.
best. We want great content from them. They want to get paid. So everyone's putting in their best work, and I really value their help.
Hmm.
And yeah, I mean, they're helping me a lot. Like, as I said, we're still in the onboarding phase, so we're
Yeah.
not quite there yet.
Hmm.
But they're really nice, supportive, and have great ideas. So yeah.
Good to hear that. Good to hear that. Just go easy on them if they get a little crazy. I can tell you firsthand because I ran an agency starting with social media. That's something for another story. Okay, I have a burning question for you. How do you share brand assets? Okay, not only with your agency partner, but if somebody else asks you, okay, if somebody, let's say you want to sponsor a WordCamp, and the WordCamp team is asking you for your brand assets or files. How would you share it with them? How are you sharing it with them? Are you facing any obstacles in doing that?
So this is actually something Katie is doing from our
Okay.
company.
Okay.
So I'm not really involved to that. If they need something, I just hand it over to Katie. But yeah, I can't really give you an answer to that,
But how do you
unfortunately.
share it internally? Is it through emails, through to files, or something like that?
So internally, honestly, we're using a lot of ClickUp.
Okay.
For social media, for example, if I an asset, I'm just creating a task and Carla will upload that. And that happens with the rest of the company as well. Like if there's a blog post or a
Hmm.
video
Hmm.
thumbnail for YouTube, we share that in ClickUp so everyone just has access to it.
To ClickUp. And what about external partners? Do you give them like access to ClickUp boards or something like that as well to ClickUp if somebody else wants?
Depending, not usually,
How did
especially
you share
not
it with
like
us
if it's
team,
just
with
a
our team?
one-time
I forget.
exchange.
I forget. How did you share it with my team when we were doing the YouTube work? I forget. I think it was
I
WeTransfer.
think the brand assets were shared. Yeah, I
WeTransfer.
think so too.
It was WeTransfer. The only reason I'm bringing up
Because it is
this,
still like, this option. Yeah.
the only reason I bring up this question is, and only reason I'm even starting this podcast and discussing this is because I have come across with companies of all shapes and sizes, 5 people, 50 people, 5,000 people also, and it's crazy to see that everybody is sharing assets with the uh, Google Drive, Dropbox, WeTransfers, other tools, emails, etc. And something or the other gets lost or time is wasted internally, and that's the reason I have Brandy to sort that out. But that's the whole reason. The sharing of links with a single link, you can share brand asset. But that's the whole preface of the software which we created. Okay, but I cannot believe that still now how many times people are using email for internal sharing, which is crazy. And sometimes the emails are so big that it becomes a Google Drive because people use G Suite also a lot, right? And you must have seen it also. And it is pretty crazy that people do it. But I think when it comes to global teams, ClickUp, Monday.com, and other tools are fantastic. And people, whoever is using Slack or Teams, they can share internally also if this like something super quick. But there are great tools in the market which are trying to sort that out, and I'm proud to be a part of a tool like that. But that's pretty cool. And any in the past few months, any particular campaign which you're truly proud of, which you really like worked hard on and became you really shined?
Yes. So, I mean, I've done a few
Hmm.
projects, even though I am pretty young.
Hmm.
But I do feel like I've done a lot in my life already. But
Hmm.
to be honest, the project I'm most proud of is this social media project for hosting.com
Okay.
right now, to be honest.
Okay.
Because like I I just have the chance, and that's really rare, to build up these accounts from scratch. Like,
Hmm.
I mean, we've post or there were posts on it before from A2 Hosting,
Hmm.
but with the rebrand, you really have a chance to build a whole new brand from scratch on social media, which is super rare that that happens. especially like after these sizes. So yeah, that's the most exciting and the most or the biggest project I'm looking forward to.
Got it. And tell me, if somebody's starting out on digital marketing now, okay, you have now some experience, several years of experience in great companies, okay? If somebody's starting out in digital marketing now, what skill they must develop in the first few months? And as per you, there could be so many. Should they learn TikTok first? Should they learn paid campaigns first? Should they learn SEO? What should people learn as per you?
I think it's a mix, to be honest, and it also depends on what kind of company you have and what your goals are.
True.
So I can't really say you need to do this, but
Hmm.
um, yeah, from my honest opinion, and also like it's not able that one person can handle everything on their own, like SEO, organic, paid. That's nothing one person should handle. And if that really is the case,
Mm.
please onboard some additional people.
Hmm.
This is not able to be handled by one person alone. But as for the platforms, I mean, for us right now, it's really Meta and LinkedIn, to be honest. I mean, I'm also like mirroring the content on TikTok, creating content specifically for TikTok. But for really building your brand, I would always recommend Instagram
Mm.
because it's still popular. We've seen it with other social media tools like Clubhouse in the past. They had a hype, the hype went away, and then everyone forgot about that. And Instagram is just really a platform that's
Correct.
here like for over 15 years, I think, and the
Yes.
hype still hasn't gone away. So that's a really valuable one. And also LinkedIn. I feel like LinkedIn became really popular within the last years,
I agree.
especially like for brands and
Mm.
so, right? So yeah, I do recommend that. And of course, like TikTok gained major popularity during COVID.
Mm.
So this can be a very important instrument for your business as well. But it's also not ideal for every brand because again it depends on what your business is, what your goals are. But to just share more personality, more company insights, but also educational content, I feel like this platform is great.
I think so. I agree. I think Instagram has tested everything, recession proof, COVID proof, everything proof. And yes, it's evolving. And the kind of, I think their algorithm is fantastic because you only see what you want to see. Sometimes I think TikTok is reading your mind. Instagram is reading your mind. Don't you think so? Literally, you're thinking something is there. I don't know how they do it. I have no idea how to do it. Literally thinking. You haven't even
I
spoken it out.
think we, I think we all had the idea in mind that like
Hmm.
Google is listening to us.
Yes.
I wouldn't have said that before, but yeah, to be honest, like I think the algorithm is fairly good. The same goes for TikTok. Like the algorithm just is really good in analyzing what your interests are, what videos you like, what videos you share, and as good as it is for private use, as not bad, but as unpredictable it is for brands to use, because
Yeah.
obviously, like you know some insights on what could work best for the algorithm, but you don't know. Like it could be anything. It could be the most random video that is
Yes.
going viral that you've never thought of, like that this is going viral. So
Absolutely.
yeah, like this is a very big hurdle for social media managers as well.
I have some fun rapid fire questions for you before we run out of time. Okay, what brand do you truly admire and love besides hosting.com, which you have been following for many years, and you wish, wow, you would be a part of that in some way or other? Could be Apple, could be Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Audi, German, Mercedes, some one of your German brands. So, which you truly admire.
So it's actually none of those big ones you've mentioned.
Okay.
There's one particular brand. It's very niche. It's very like in the fashion industry, to be honest. It's
Okay.
called Odd Muse. They're really active on TikTok. And I'm following them for a couple of years now because the founder story is really interesting. It's a young woman who worked at a very big fashion retailer, and then she quit because she had her own dream.
Wow.
And she built up her own whole brand, which is worth millions now. And she took her whole audience with her on this journey, like from the very beginning to getting the first designs to like opening up her first store to opening up another store in New York. So yeah, she really took her users and her audience with her all along. She even built like a great storytelling with her social media manager. They were telling like a story together at one point. She became like a major face of her accounts. Um, so yeah, this is a brand I really admire. I think they're doing everything right. She's sharing like valuable insights into the good sides of having a business, but also into the bad sides. Like if everything is not working out how you want to, you see that she's just a human being too, and she shares feelings. And I will really value that because even though I'm not owning a brand on my own, but I do can imagine that a lot of users who are following her are really into that because they're feeling the same. But at the same
Mm.
time, she's doing an outstanding job in promoting her clothes, which are really pretty, by the way. But yeah, she's combining humanity and
What's the
a
name again?
sales mind
What's
and great storytelling with each other, and it just builds.
what's the name
Oh,
again?
sorry.
What's the name again? Sorry. How do you spell it out of the brand?
Odd Muse, so ODDMUSE.
ODDMUSC. I will have a look. That's a pretty cool name, actually. That's a pretty cool name. I must say that. I follow a lot of single store fashion brands also. I don't ever go to like as usually go to Zara, Abercrombie, H&M, etc. And I follow a lot of influencer-led single fashion brands. I really admire the work they do because of the storytelling part which you just mentioned, right? And there's so many in the UK also. So yeah, I will definitely check it out, 100%. And what is your favorite tool which you cannot live without in your day-to-day work? You just absolutely cannot. Is it Canva? Is it ClickUp? You absolutely cannot live without.
Um, yeah, so let me think for a second. This is honestly a hard question to answer because it's very different. Because I'm for work related stuff. I would
Hmm.
always say ClickUp. This is
Okay.
just the best and helpful tool for me personally,
Hmm.
to coordinate content. But for my personal use, I don't really have a platform. Like obviously I'm on Instagram and TikTok. I'm
Of
really
course.
addicted to those.
Hmm.
Um,
What's your favorite?
but
Which is your
yeah,
favorite?
that's it, to be honest. Like I'm checking the
Which one do you like more though? Between Instagram
between
and TikTok?
Instagram and
It's
TikTok.
a tough one. It's again a tough one.
Tough question. TikTok.
Oh my god.
It's just maybe no, it's just to be honest, when COVID hit, I was in America in my year abroad, and it was just not a lifesaver in that kind, but it really helped me to stay alive with my creative mind, to just get new ideas, to exchange with other people, see what they're doing, to get some helpful tips what to do while COVID is going on. And that was just really helpful and very like it's so good to see how creative people are on there. I mean, a lot of content gets mirrored on Instagram as well, so you do see some similarities there. But is still like different
Yes.
in the way you use it and in the way you consume content. And I just feel like TikTok is genuine. Like you just go in there, you see the videos, you see the people, and you know, okay, that's just their genuine story. And on Instagram, I mean, they share their story too, but it's also it's just different.
Yes, it is true. It's very, very different. I know. I know. I've consumed both also. I spend more time on Instagram than TikTok if I need to. But yeah, I totally agree with you. I was about to ask you the next question. Like, when inspiration is running low, that means you go to TikTok. Safe to say that?
Yes, to be honest, I mean, everyone has phases where there's just no creativity anymore. And to be
Mm,
honest, a person can't be creative 24/7. That's just not possible. And even though, like me and like I said, the team, the whole company, like they're giving me input as well.
mm.
So I'm really glad and yeah, I'm just really glad that I have their support. But yeah, obviously, yeah, like you need to look out for trends on those channels as well, to like hop on them, because that's really important for your social media accounts to also implement trends that are going around right now. And yeah, obviously, like it's just such a creative place to be that you also can't really get around that. Like if
I
you're
agree.
on those channels personally, you're like instantly into that and you get ideas if you want to or not.
Yes, I'm with you 100%. Anyways, thank you so much for all this lovely insight. It's been great hosting you today on Beautifully on Brand. A lot of golden nuggets. And I think this episode is a must watch for anybody, especially starting out in the digital marketing world, and especially if you're working at a hosting brand slash domain company slash servers, etc. And actually have a look at what hosting.com is actually doing behind the scenes. So it's pretty cool what you guys are all doing. And I wish you the best of luck and a great rest of your year. Thank you so much, Laura.
Thank you so
Have a
much for
great day.
having me.